Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Girls, today we are going to discuss another poem by the famous American poet Robert Frost. Its title is The Oven Bird. This is a well known poem from his anthology Mountain Interval. It beautifully blends abstract and concrete elements. It is a sonnet. An ovenbird is a small warbler which gets its name because it builds a nest that is a dome like structure with an entrance on the one side so that it resembles a small oven. Once again, we find ourselves somewhere in the midwoods surrounded by nature, quite far away from the sordidness and hustle bustle of the urban life. But the human world is not wholly absent from the mind of the poet, and amid nature we find Frost searching for parallels of human world. Let's see what thoughts Robert Frost has presented in this poem. There is a singer everyone has heard, loud amid summer and amid wood bird, who makes the solid tree trunks sound again. The ovenbird is a songbird that lives in midwood and makes its appearance in the mid of the summer season when greenery all around gets its darker and maturer color. Its sound or song is quite loud and clear and easily audible to everyone around. At every turn of the season, its sad song is echoed by the solid tree trunks. He says that leaves are old and that for flowers, midsummer is to spring as 1 to 10. The song of the bird is a reminder of the fleeting time. The freshness and newness of the spring has already turned into the maturity of summer. The tender new leaves of spring that bring joy to the winter stricken atmosphere and withered hearts of the people have become large and green. The poet uses the word old for the leaves, and we have a feeling that the poet is looking beyond those leaves that are there in front of his eye. Deep in his mind, somewhere, there is the disturbing thought that passing time is leaving its effects behind, and somewhere in the human world, the beauty and freshness of youth is withering into old age. The flowers that bloomed in the spring and adorned the earth with their rainbow colors have now dwindled, and compared to spring, very few flowers are to be seen in the mid of summer. So the poet finds the song of the bird sorrowful and feels disturbed by noticing how fast the time has changed. He says the early petal fall is past, when pear and cherry bloom went down in showers, on sunny days, a moment overcast. And comes that other fall we name the fall. The sorrowful notes of the bird bring some more painful thoughts to the poet and add more misery to his melancholic mood. The bird tells that the time of the early petal fall is long past, and pear and cherry bloom have all already showered on sunny days. He is trying to say that when everything reaches its greenest, things can only go downhill now. Usually, in the middle of summer, it is the best weather and everyone is in the full swing of summer. But now that Frost is halfway through the summer, He is looking forward to so much that is just going to end soon. The fall of the blooms remind him of the season of fall that is approaching so fast. He means to say that spring is over, midsummer is giving way to autumn. It means what is once gone is gone forever, and there is no hope of its return. The word expresses a sense of loss and regret. We feel that the poet shares its sense of loss. He says the highway dust is over all. The bird would cease and be as other birds. Frost keeps on inferring from the song of the bird and thinks the bird further says that the dust from the highway has settled everywhere, thus adding to the drab look of autumn, drab look of the autumn wilderness, and giving the onlookers some nostalgic pangs about the lush green foliage, beauty and freshness of the spring, the serenity and calm of the early summer that is nowhere to be seen anymore. The dull of the present is in stark contrast with the daintiness and loveliness of the past, and it cannot be overlooked. With the arrival of autumn, the oven bird would stop singing and it would disappear like the other birds that are associated with their particular seasons. But he knows in singing not to sing. The question that he frames in all but words is what to make of a diminished thing. The song of the oven bird does not remain a song anymore. To the poet's ears, this song now turns into a question that the oven bird is leaving behind for human beings before its flight and disappearance. The question is very loud and clear what to make of a diminished thing. The song of the oven bird gives expression to the human regret over the loss of the fleeting moments successively getting out of hands. There is no human control over changes being brought about by the modern world. There is a comparison between the hollow life of the modern age and the meaningful life of the good old days. The sense of loss is somewhere there between approaches to life, what actually it is and what it ought to be. Like frost, the oven bird sings sadly of summer, remembering spring, just as man looks upon his everyday life with the discontent of one who judges reality by the dream of Eden, his lost paradise. The question that he frames in all but words is what to make of a diminished thing. The diminished thing to the bird is the midsummer that has lost all its glory of spring. But to man, the diminished thing is the emptiness, purposelessness, and meaninglessness of modern life, as compared with significance and largeness of life in the olden days that have long passed, never to reappear. It suggests nostalgia for the magnanimity of life that ever was. A dominant feeling of regret and melancholy permeates the whole texture of the song of the bird, and it, of course, makes the reader sad too. The poem is a sonnet, but Frost has experimented with the established form of the sonnet. Simple diction is most suited to the poet's expression of regret and his final remarks of his utter helplessness to restore life to glory of the past. The reader feels an ardent desire of the poet to conserve the values that he tried and trusted. The sonnet suggests the nature of Frost's revolt. The bird in the poem is the one that sings nothing new or startling, but of things that are eternal. Thank you very much for watching. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.